2.
Oh my God. The Patreon community requested it. You have requested it. We are watching Sex and the City and commenting on the mental health related scenes. So if you like this kind of video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. We will be watching as they try out therapy, deal with relationships that don't have drama, and yeah, there's a lot. So let's just get to watching.
I love making love to you.
The feeling is mutual.
Is there anything you want or need that I'm not doing?
No, it's great.
I like this. We should talk about our sex life with the person we're having sex with. Are you happy with what we're doing? Is there anything else you want?
What about you?
It's all good.
Anything that you want or need that I'm not doing?
Yeah. Well, maybe one thing.
This is so typical of men in power. They just love to be dominated and humiliated.
What did you
God
say
loves
when you
Samantha.
asked? Well, I told him I'd just gone, but maybe another time. But I really don't think that I can keep saying that forever.
Look, sometimes
should have
with
said
the right
something.
guy, you have to make concessions. There's always going to be something.
Are you guys seriously advocating that I do this?
Well, why not? He's a great-looking, rich political prince.
Oh, sure. It's practically a fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea.
I love the comedic timing. The Princess and the Pea, they kill me. The writing's so good on this show. But I thought this was interesting and something I really wanted to talk about because we've never talked about why people like to be peed or even pooped on, right? And so the interesting thing about when I was reading up about this, because obviously you guys know I'm not like a sex therapist. I don't specialize, in helping people with their sex lives. However, a healthy sex life is important, right? And I did like, again, how they talked about if there's anything else that you're wanting from me. I think it's really important when we're having sex with someone and we're in, somewhat of a committed relationship that we feel free to tell them what we like and don't like, things we're wanting and not wanting. That's all good. However, and this is obviously edited a little bit for TV, but he asked her if she could pee on him. So he wanted her to pee on him. And I know they cut that out, but that's what was said. And at that point, because they were having this open dialogue, she said she should have said something like, I'm not sure if it's something I'm comfortable with. Again, we don't want to shut people down, right? It's okay to think about something like she's doing. She's talking with her friends. Are you advocating I do this? Instead, she lied and said like, oh, I just went, maybe next time. I think that once we're open and talking about it, we should be honest. But the interesting thing about this is Samantha said what most people think, that people like to be, dominated and humiliated. And that is part of it, but they find that it's actually not that. They interviewed a ton of people. I was reading this research article in preparation for this video, and they found out that most people like to be peed on or pee on their partner because they see it as just another level of intimacy. Like it's this next level of connectedness. I found that really interesting because I thought, like Samantha, that it was always like a domination, humiliation thing, but hey, it's not always the case. So that's why it's important. Talk to your partner, ask questions, know that you have time to figure out what's okay for you, what you want or don't want. Have a healthy sex life. It's okay. There are so many clips, you guys. I had a really tough time narrowing them down, but this one I think is so relatable. So let's watch. I love the music and the intros. You guys
It
too?
happened
I don't
2
know.
days ago. Aiden and I had been seeing each other for about 3 weeks when...
I loved Aiden. He was my favorite.
What is it, a bad dream?
Not sure.
What's wrong?
I don't know. And the truth was, I really didn't.
We don't always know, right? We don't always know why
The
we're
next
upset
day,
or
I
what's
searched
happening or
for
how we
unpaid
feel.
bills, unanswered calls, unmet
I like that she
deadlines,
looks for like
but I hadn't so much as
things
missed a
like
teeth
logistically
cleaning.
in her life that would be throwing
My
her
life
off,
appeared
not
to be in
emotional.
order. But the next night, like clockwork, I realized I was in the throes of an existential crisis, one that not even the sight of this season's Dolce & Gabbana strappy sandals could lift me out of.
Okay, I want to stop it there. Because I thought this was so interesting. First of all, like I said, the fact that she's waking up in the middle of the night like in this shocked feel, like this, it's a physical manifestation of something going on psychologically, right? But in true Carrie fashion, she goes into her life and she's like, I don't have so much as an unpaid parking ticket. I paid all my bills. She's looking through her drawers. We so often do that in life where something emotionally is overwhelming, but we're just so disconnected that we look into our life to find out if there's actually something in our in our physical life affecting us, right? Without looking deep into our emotions. And it's just I just love that because she's like, everything seemed to be in order. What about up here, Carrie? You didn't even think about that. Okay, there's a little bit more. Let's watch a little bit more.
Which one's been right?
Again, I love Aiden.
I'm gonna get
He's
some
my
water.
favorite.
Oh, relax. Okay.
Just so wholesome and nice. He was always just such a nice guy. I know everybody debates that, but he was my favorite.
And then I realized it. What was wrong was,
Here we go.
for the first time in my life, I was in a relationship where absolutely nothing was wrong.
We can become addicted to drama in relationships. And again, going back to what I talked about before is like these patterns of behavior, right? Earlier, Carrie was going to therapy and she was saying she's a fly strip for dysfunctional men, yet she finds a man who's consistent. Like she said, smooth sailing as far as the eye can see. I hate it. She's saying I'm uncomfortable. And if you guys have been watching me for a long time, you know that even my own therapist, when I was just out of I think it was undergrad going into grad school, she was like, you've had a lot of unhealthy relationships. She's like, I really want you to be uncomfortable in your next relationship. And I was like, what? That sounds horrible. And she's like, no, because you need something different. And sometimes that discomfort, like Carrie's, that overwhelm she's feeling is actually kind of a good sign. I know, but in order to make change, we have to be uncomfortable. And unless she wants to continue having these dysfunctional relationships, she should actually lean into this kind of weird feeling, this discomfort, this need for drama. And instead of, maybe not staying in that relationship or leaving Aiden, which spoilers, if you haven't watched the show, that ends up happening. But instead of doing that, she should have tapped in to figure out what it was about the drama and the hunt that she was so attached to and where that comes from, so we can kind of tease that out and find ourselves in healthier relationships in the future. Okay, there's more even within this episode, so let's watch another clip together.
When a marriage breaks up, there are numerous ways to cope. You can cry, you can move, that's right, not right. Or as Charlotte did, dive into a new routine, a tap routine.
I feel good. I even signed up for sculpture and tap dancing class because Lord knows you can't do one without the other. And everyone keeps telling me to take time to grieve. I don't need time.
See, take time to grieve.
Clean and swift, like pulling off a Band-Aid.
You can see why I had to add that in, because Charlotte just doesn't want to admit that she's grieving and that the loss of her marriage it's a big deal, right? That's a huge adjustment. And instead she's wanting to numb out. She's like, I'm just going to tap dance, I'm going to take pottery, I'm going to do all these things. She's essentially distracting herself from the pain she's feeling, which, spoilers, unfortunately, that just prolongs it. So by her doing all of this, she's actually going to feel shittier for a longer period of time.
Oh, here's the heart beating. See?
Kind of. I think so.
I love Miranda. She's so just
Do you want to know the
unemotional.
sex? I can tell you right now if you do.
Okay.
Sure?
Yeah, sure. Right? Whatever. Sure.
it's
Tell
a boy.
me the sex.
It's a boy. How do you feel?
Just no reaction.
Wow! Great!
I like that uncomfortable
Boy, oh
pause they
boy.
let sit, where she looks at her.
I just
How's
faked
it
a
make you
sonogram.
feel?
I'm sorry?
I was lying there. The technician's giving me a guided tour of my uterus. Then she tells me I'm having a boy. Oh my God, Miranda! We're having a boy.
See
You
the reaction that everybody's
That's what this woman
expecting.
wanted out of me, but I couldn't get it up for her, so I faked it.
What exactly does a fake sonogram look like, in case I ever need to do it?
Good question.
Everyone else is
Okay.
glowing about.
I find it so funny when we as people expect certain responses from each other, right? And we do this all the time. I expect people to be excited about this change, or even a pregnancy, right? People to be excited that they're having a baby. Not everybody feels that way. Sometimes a pregnancy is a surprise. Like in Miranda's case, she wasn't planning on getting pregnant. It was an accident. Is that going to mean that she's not going to love her child, not be a good mom? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that a lot of times in society, we expect people to be super excited about life change, and we forget that it's change. And change is super uncomfortable, right? And so I just really love this part because both Carrie and Miranda are not necessarily thrilled about these life changes. Miranda's like, yeah, I'm having a baby, whatever. Okay, it's a boy. Okay, cool. And Carrie's like, yeah, everybody gets so excited when I'm getting married. Now, I would argue on Carrie's side of things, maybe it's not the right fit for her and that's why she's not excited. But also, I think we just need to support each other in our own reactions to life changes until we've kind of made sense of how we feel about it. Okay, there's another clip. Let's get into this last one.
Okay? On the count of 3.
Okay.
1,
How bad do we think it is?
2.
Oh my God. Those are, I mean, no offense to anybody's wedding dress, but those are particularly poofy. Like a cupcake.
Look at yourself.
Hold still. You need a veil.
Okay. I love that it starts out all fun, right?
Oh, I look beautiful. You can't even tell that I'm pregnant in this. The sleeves help balance out the tummy. Don't you think it's gonna fetch it? Don't
Oh
you
my
find?
God. This is too tight. I can't breathe. Can you get it off me?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Shh. You don't want the woman to come back in here.
I'm not kidding. Get it off. I'm burning up. I can't
Panic
breathe.
attack, I'd say.
Oh my God.
What do you
There's a
think?
million
That was my
bodies
assumption.
back here. Oh my God, your back is all red.
Nope, even giving me hives.
Just rip it off.
Complete overwhelm. Uh-oh.
Oh my God. What just happened?
Yeah, what did just happen? I, of course, had to include this because even the joke, right? Miranda thought, well, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Let's go try on some fun dresses and just goof. And they're horrible. It's not either of their styles, right? Again, to each their own. If you love those dresses, you do you. But I'm just saying we know our characters, right? And they don't dress like that. That's not, Carrie would want something totally couture or something vintage or, and seeing herself in a wedding dress, even it had nothing to do with the style of it. I'll just throw that out there. It had nothing to do that it was like that shitty bridal shop where it wasn't her style and it wasn't anything she wanted. It was because imagining herself as a bride wasn't right for her right now. And again, like she wasn't excited about being engaged because she wasn't excited about getting married, and putting on that wedding dress made it all the more real. And she was super triggered. It was like someone just poking all the buttons and her system went into overwhelm, right? I would say that was a panic attack. The hives, the overheating, feeling like she can't breathe, the like having to crouch because she probably felt like she was going to faint or pass out. We all know panic attacks do that to us. We think we're going to like fall over and die or something bad's going to happen. All that was happening super quick and she had to get out of it immediately, which is why she had Miranda rip that dress open, which I think she even says like she had to end up paying for it. But yeah, it's our body's trying to tell us what's going on in our mind, whether we want to hear it or not. And for our final clip, there's so many, you guys. If you want a part 2, like I said, like this, leave comments, subscribe, let me know, because I loved doing this. But for the last clip, we'll just talk about closure in relationships.
Later that day, I got to thinking about tense relationships. And by that, I mean a
Carrie always doing her
relationship
deep
and its
thinking.
connection
I
to
love
the
it.
past, present, and future tense. At a certain age, we've all had relationships that are far from past perfect. But how much does that past relationship affect our dream of a future perfect? And as I became more and more tense, I couldn't help but wonder, can you get to a future if your past is present?
Good
The
question.
next morning,
Can we hold on
after
to the
another
past and move
fateful night of
forward?
frogs,
So you're gonna be okay here?
We'll talk about it.
absolutely, go.
You know, it's just stupid standing
I
breakfast
never
thing with a
liked
bunch of
Burger.
rider buddies. I asked
Did
you
you?
along.
It just never,
A pretty pathetic bunch.
he didn't do it
Please
for me.
go. And for the record, you, my friend, are not pathetic.
Oh, answering machines. Wow. That's when you realize
Hey, you
how
gonna
old
get
this show is.
You know what? 9:30 in the morning, one word, telemarketer.
I think that's a 2-word hyphenate.
Hey, Jack, it's Lauren.
It was official.
It's Saturday
Lauren controlled every machine in the
and,
apartment.
call me. I want to talk to you.
You and you.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love the switch. Okay. Okay, first of all, answering machines. This clearly was not, filmed anytime recently, but it still holds true. We hear her talking about past and present. Can we hold on to a past relationship or thoughts about a past relationship and move into a new one healthfully? And the short answer is no. If we don't let go of that past relationship and let it be what it was, good, bad, whatever, we can't fully be present in our new relationship. And Berger's reaction also, as you know, is edited for TV, right? So he like doesn't really, he's like, beep you, and his fingers are all blurred out. Really cracked me up. But anyway, the double finger to the answering machine, which she then talks about later in this episode, isn't a good sign. It actually means that Berger is still emotionally affected by his ex and emotionally invested in some way. So much so that her just leaving a simple voicemail is overwhelming to him, that he feels like he needs to like cuss her out and flip her off. And it's not that, oh, this is terrible and we can't have some animosity for maybe an ex that cheated or lied or, you know, abused us for years. I don't know. We can still not like them. But to have a small thing happen and it sends us into overwhelm, whenever I feel like I'm overreacting, and I know we use the term overreaction, people think, oh, that's like so judgmental. What I really mean is if our reaction is over and above what the actual situation kind of calls for, like, right, she left a message, you could be like, ugh, she's so annoying, I hate her. That would have been fine. But the like, fuck you and fuck you, to me, that shows us that there's something there. Something needs to be talked through, processed through, or whatever. So overall, it's not the, you know, like, it's not the best indicator. I wouldn't want to date someone who still felt that way about their ex. Well, that's all we have, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And click here to watch my videos about how to have healthy romantic relationships. And as always, let's keep working together towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. And I'll see you next time.